Welcome back, everyone. I'm JTXRP, and today I've got James Ray XRP here from Schmeckles, and we're going to be talking about Schmeckles, which, if you're not familiar, is a project on the XRPL, is a meme coin, and it's based off of, if you're wondering like me, what the heck is a Schmeckle, I'll actually let James tell you about that because he explained it to me and he explains it better. So we'll start there.
Definitely. So, like you said, we are a meme token. We're based on the adult cartoon called Rick and Morty. So, if you haven't seen Rick and Morty, we highly recommend it.
Mhm.
And within that cartoon, there is a currency called Schmeckles. It's sort of spoken about in a few different episodes, but it's really just a joke within the show itself. So we thought, why not bring it to life? So the basis of the project was to really be a fan token, to be a token that bridges sort of a real life application, being a fan group, and bringing it onto the XRPL to give people the opportunity to own Schmeckles, as well as to participate in a community where they can sort of discuss Rick and Morty, do Rick and Morty trivia, be part of giveaways, to get involved in art, get involved in those fun things that you do while you're watching cartoons, like just coming from that sort of childish background, and really enjoying life, and having fun with cryptocurrency, and not just getting too focused on the technological side.
Gotcha. No, that's really cool. I did watch that episode. I went and I looked it up, and it was fairly funny. And yes, it is an adult show.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just saying Schmeckle now is kind of funny to me. And they never show what a Schmeckle looks like, do they?
They do. It's
Okay.
only brief, but if you jump onto Google, you can see what the original Schmeckle looks like. And
Okay.
don't have it here, but I'll have to pass it on to you. Maybe we can post it under the video when it's posted. But
Okay.
something that actually just developed this week, which was really exciting, is our initial logo was based off the fundamental look of what a Schmeckle looks like within Rick and Morty itself.
Okay.
And something that just progressed this week is we received the permissions to sell that logo as merchandise, as owned by Schmeckles, which is sort of the first real big step we've taken towards living in a parallel with the official Rick and Morty organization, and sort of machine that they are.
Wow.
So we're really excited about that. We've already got some merch with that original logo up on our website, which is shopschmeckles.com. So it's our first real big sort of win in that sort of space. So yeah, really exciting.
That's cool. So now they can say that they've got Schmeckles in, it's a real cryptocurrency, and they
Yeah.
can, so they're using you and adding themselves to you in a way. So,
Well, there's no.
or,
I should
or
state there's no official connection between us. We are two separate entities completely. But definitely in the future, I'm very open to working with them. We've
okay.
reached out to them a number of times. So we believe there's a few reasons why that connection hasn't happened yet, and part of it is what's happening in the world of America around the XRP, and I
Mm,
should say the Ripple SEC sort of battles, and
yeah.
that's going to do what it's going to do, and off the back of that, we'll see what we can do, and how we can progress that relationship.
Well, if you believe a post by John Deaton, after these other emails come out, that could be 3 months from that point. So hopefully that's true, or hopefully it's less, but we know how that's looking right now. And
Definitely.
dude, the SEC, sorry, just to break into it real quick. I feel like I posted this on my Twitter. Like they went from shooting themselves in the foot to amputating their leg. I just don't know what they are thinking, man. But anyways, I'm
I,
thankful for it. They're
I
making
have
our
my
job
views.
easier.
I have my views, but I almost feel like it's regulation through precedent. That's how I sort of see it, and I
Yeah.
sort of almost, if I was a conspiracy theorist, which I surely do fall into at late nights sometimes, but I would say that this has all been orchestrated to provide the cryptocurrency industry with some form of regulation through I guess the burning at the stake of Ripple, which is not sort of burnt at all. We
Yeah.
sort of, if anything, we've
It's
taken that
fireproof.
Phoenix approach, or the Phoenix approach. We've
Yeah.
pre-burnt and spread our wings, and we're looking really pretty right now. That's for sure.
Gotcha. I feel like it's more like the X-Men Phoenix. It's taking everything else down that tried to kill it. You know what I mean? But
I
yeah,
love
anyway.
that reference.
So yeah, anyways, to get back to Schmeckles here, what is your role in the project, James? Like what do
Yeah,
you,
so
and yeah, let's go about you and then we'll go into about your team.
definitely. So I'm one of the co-creators, and I guess my background's in project management, and I'd love to dive into that maybe a little bit later. So I've run a lot of massive projects. So this to me is my project now. So it's my position sort of sits overviewing of everything ensuring that there's progress within the project, but ensuring the protection and safety of the project is probably my initial sort of role. I do step into the social media side of things probably more than I should. I also step into some of the game building probably more than I should as well. But I sort of just have my finger in everything, in all the aspects of Schmeckles. I really sort of live and breathe it. So from everything, from the accounting to the interactions with our community, I'm sort of covering it all.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Cool. What about your I guess your team, or is there multiple people on the project, or?
Yeah, so there are. So I'm the only doxed person at the moment, but we do have the other co-creator who's T. So T's background is in online fraud and protection. She's worked with a lot of international corporations, including American Express. So she sort of comes from that safety and protection standpoint as well. But that's that's what she lives and breathes, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So all sort of financial decisions that we make, they go through her. All collaborations and connections we're making with other projects as well as other individuals, they go through her, and she sort of gives us the tick of approval. She also steps into a few other little bits and pieces. She definitely gives me a lot of advice on things that I sort of have struggles with, but she's more so around that protection of the coin as well as protection of the community.
Schmeckles compliance officer.
I guess you could call it that. Definitely. We also have a guy called Iobo who works from Saudi Arabia, so he helps us with our game development. We have a team of people who do assist us with our web development. We also have an accountant who we work with very closely, and maybe one of the topics we can dive into at some stage is staking. So he has his own opinions on a lot of things, and we really heed his advice as well as we can. And I guess outside of that, that's probably the core team. Outside of that, we do have other advisors and people that we work with, some that are affiliated with other cryptos, people who aren't affiliated with cryptos at all, and sort of give us advice on a business perspective, as well as try and ensure that we make good connections and sort of build into the future. And then we have our amazing community where we've appointed some people as ambassadors, because they are living and breathing Schmeckles themselves. They really do sort of encourage others to do their research and assist them with their research, as well as to sort of advertise and market for us. So we've appointed them as ambassadors of the project.
Gotcha. So for team that are actually, I guess, core team, what would be the number? You said you had like a web person, an accountant, like
I'd call it 3 as a core team.
Okay.
And then as you sort of go to that next layer, that's where I'd sort of put the accountant. That's where I'd also put the web developers and the web builder. The reason why they sit on the outside is they're not 24/7 Schmeckles. They work on other projects. They work with other people. They aren't just defined by us. And I think you'll find that is the same case for a lot of different projects. They may sort of puff their chests and they've got a team of 10, but 9 out of the 10 people are spending an hour a week on their project, and they're also
contractor types.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
So we're not going to puff our chests. We are what we are. Like I'm not even full-time Schmeckles, right? Like I've got my own things. I do Brazilian jiu-jitsu. I sort of do my own studies. I do contract work for other organizations that aren't cryptocurrency related. So even me, I'm not 24/7, and we don't expect anyone to be. As long as people are doing their work, as long as people are achieving their commitments and their goals, and that there's progress in the project, that's all our real focus is. Because it's something that I say to our community a lot. Like, we are slow and we're building for a forever. We're not building for 5 years. We're not building for 1 year. We're not looking for that quick spike and that quick buck. We're looking to be here and create a community that's going to exist long way into the future. Hopefully
Gotcha.
beyond my life. Yeah.
Gotcha. So you might be hopefully trying to take Shiba Inu out of the Robinhood thing that happened today. Like, it's eventually
I actually don't even know what it is. Sure,
okay.
Let's go.
No, Shiba Inu got on Robinhood today, so it's everyone's people are talking about it. Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
So I'm saying that's your competition. Take down the dog, man.
We're happy to coexist. You know, like we don't believe that there's any one sort of cryptocurrency that needs to rule over all. We're not living in a Lord of the Rings or a movie.
One
like
Schmeckle to rule them all.
That's we're living in reality, and just like, let's say, McDonald's and Burger King can coexist, so can Schmeckles and Shiba Inu, so can us and a lot of other tokens. And I think that's a part of sort of the story of Schmeckles is that we're not here to be the biggest and the best. We're here to be and to do things the right way and to show and lead by example to the other projects. We're only a meme token, but we're still doing our due diligence. We're still working with accountants. We're still doing our research. We're still getting legal advice. We're just a meme token, right? So
Yeah.
if we're able to do this from our level, it's the same standard that all projects should be holding themselves accountable to, and we will happily sit on a pedestal and have people throw rocks at us because we feel like we have really protected ourselves and done the right things to lead as an example in this industry.
Yep. And this, I'm not sure of other areas in life where you can invest in a meme, but I'm just saying, like, the crypto space, as far as I know, is unique in that way, but maybe I'm wrong. No one's building
Unfortunately,
a
you
meme
are wrong,
building.
JT. You are wrong, because the
Hey.
answer is art, and art
Okay.
has always been that.
It's true.
And art can exist in many different forms. And my belief is cryptocurrency is a form of art. We are seeing so many individuals bring their own creativity and ideas into a space which is a technological sort of forefront of humanity, right? And that's what I absolutely love. And that's what I wanted to do with Schmeckles. And that's where the idea stemmed from. How can we bring that creativity, that passion, that childish nature, that human being approach to the cutting edge technology? And cryptocurrency was the answer. And that's where our sort of our project crosses. It's the art and creativity and just the childish human nature towards people and cryptocurrency together. That's where we sort of sit, and that's what I love so much about our project, and that's what I get so excited about.
Sorry. But I was going to go to your previous point. You're talking about like everything coexists, and don't get me wrong, I believe the same thing. But at the same time, if I've only got so much dry powder to put stuff in, today, just to go to your point, I actually drove by a McDonald's that was literally next door to a Burger King to get Burger King. So just
you chose Burger King. I love it.
I did. I was
like, that's for sure.
Yeah. I'm actually usually a Wendy's person, but I had choices, and time was a factor. So but I just said that to say is that, like, if am I going to choose a project that's trying to do its due diligence, or am I going to choose like cool thing? And I don't know. I'll try to pick the best of the two. So
yeah.
And Schmeckles sounds like it's trying to really do that due diligence. So I think it'll set it apart for sure. What else is going to go into? You've gone into the team, you've gone into yourself. Let's go into a little bit more about the project. Can you tell us more about Schmeckles and what the project entails?
Most definitely. So as we've said, it's a meme token. So we want to really bring that.
You want me to share my screen for some of these things? I know
let's do it for sure. If you want to share, and I'll talk through what you bring up on screen, that might be a good approach. Okay. So this is our link tree. Plenty of links in there, and it's going to go to pretty much everything that we're going to talk through today. One of my favorite links, that if you scroll right down to the bottom, it's a little Easter egg for people, Rick and Morty. So there's a 24-hour live stream of Rick and Morty that's running on the Adult Swim website. You can jump on there. You can watch Rick and Morty at any time. So if you haven't seen it, you don't have a pay-per-view service like Netflix or something along those lines, you can still watch Rick and Morty through that Adult Swim website. So it's there for everybody to digest and to watch. That is where we stem from. We are a Rick and Morty fan token. A lot of what we do is related to Rick and Morty. So I think a good place to go now is probably to our Twitter page.
Yeah, I didn't stay on that too long because I just don't know if that commercial, if that's going to hit me on
of course,
YouTube or whatever. So where do you want to go? Sorry.
If we jump over to our Twitter, something that we're doing right now, and we've already run 2 of these, is an art competition. So our first 2 art competitions, the first was a pencil and paper art. The second was computer generated art. The current art competition that's running is open to all art forms. So we have music submissions, we have poetry submissions, we have photography, we have computer generated art, we have pencil and paper drawn art, we have graffiti art in there. So that's still open. So the idea behind these art competitions is, like we're saying, is to really give people that opportunity to be creative, to get back in touch with their childish self potentially, to just sort of get something out of life that's not just work, that's not just investing, that's not just serious. We want people to have fun. So these art competitions, for winning them, you're going to receive 1,000 Schmeckles straight into your wallet. You're also going to have your artwork minted as an NFT, and that's going to be on XLS 20D. It's not going to be the current protocol. So that will most likely exist on XRP marketplace. And those NFTs are going to be given directly back to the artist. So Schmeckles takes nothing out of it. That is the artist's work. That's theirs to do with as they please. If they want to make a sale, they can make a sale. If they want to keep it and hold it onto it forever, that's theirs to do with as they see. So that's the art competitions. So this current one is running until the 14th of May. So there's about a month left on this. And I guess really the things that we're looking for when we're reviewing the submissions is creativity, is originality. If you can incorporate Rick and Morty and Schmeckles into that art, of course, we're going to love it more because there's the representation of our project, but it's not completely necessary. And the only thing that we warn, and it's something that's a little bit hard and it's been difficult for people to understand, is that you need to be original here. This is not the time to sort of take existing artwork and manipulate it. It's time to create something from the get-go, from an original piece, from a blank slate. You get to work and really bring nothing into life, if that makes sense. So that's what we're really encouraging people to do. So all of the submissions that have been provided through this art competition, you can actually find on our website. So if you jump onto the third tab, where it says home, Schmeckles on the XRPL. So this is our main website, schmeckles.xrpl.com. This is where you're going to find information about investing in Schmeckles. It's where you're going to find information on our white paper, our roadmap, our tokenomics, a few FAQs in there. But it's also where you can find the information about the existing submissions into the artwork. So if you jump right back up to the top and hover your mouse over art, and then click on all art, the third one, that's all right. So this is the current competition that's running, and these are some of the submissions. And you can see not all of them are Rick and Morty or Schmeckles related, but a lot of them are as well. So you can get whatever you want in there. And we're encouraging submissions, and we want them to be as crazy or weird or individual as they want to be. So we've got paintings in there as well. Like it's really a big mix of different art styles in there. Yeah, that's actually near my home, to be honest, that photo. Oh, wow. It's really cool. So that's down on the south coast of New South Wales in Australia. So beautiful part of the world. But one of the photos that I love in here is actually of Canada. And that's definitely somewhere that I want to visit in the future. So the two there with the ball, as well as the one on the left with the lake and the mountain, those two are from Canada. And man, I really need to get out there. So this is our art competition. And like I said, it's still running for another month.
Gotcha.
So we do have another website. So if you click on shop, that will take you to the other website, or if you just want to jump onto Shop Schmeckles. So this is the second website, which hosts all our merch. So as I was saying earlier, I actually can't remember if it was on this video or the other, is that we have the approval to utilize the original Schmeckles logo, which is the logo, which is the logo off from the actual Rick and Morty cartoon itself. So it's made a little bit more perfect. It's a little bit more rudimentary in the cartoon, but that is the same design. So we're very proud to be able to market that now. So we have all the permissions in place to sell that merch.
And that's it right there?
That's the one. Yeah, okay. Really cool. So this website as well also hosts the members area. And it's something that I should have probably given you prior to starting. But in the members area, we do host a few different things. So there's the secret sound giveaway, as well as a competition, which is currently running. For the competition, what I might get you to do, if you jump over to the On XRP website, do I have a photo? Actually, I don't have one in there. That's all right. So in Shop Schmeckles, there is currently a 2D game competition, which is running. And in that competition, you're a little avatar that's running around a 2D world, shooting bullets, punching people in the face, collecting Schmeckles as you go. And the competition is to score the highest score possible. And there's XRP as well as Schmeckles prizes for the winners of that competition. So that competition runs until the end of April. So there's not too much time left. There's only about 2 weeks. So first place for that competition will be to win 100 XRP and 200 Schmeckles into your pocket. And the high score that's there now, I have actually been competing in this competition. My position in that competition will not be official, so I'll drop out when the prizes are given, but I've been still trying to hit that first place. And I can tell you now that first place score is very, very hard to achieve. I think it's something like 189 points, which is ridiculous. So wow. I imagine that individual is going to win that first place prize, but the prizes go down all the way to 9th place. So what we've done for that is actually include a fee to play. The reason why is we needed the funds for those prizes. So we're actually giving away more prizes than we've received to date, which is absolutely fine. And the idea to that is it's going to just filter on. So we're going to create a season 2, a season 3, season 4. As each season comes to an end, that game becomes public access for people to play as they see fit. So that's the first game that we've released, but we're also working on another game. So this is a great time to jump over to the On XRP article.
Okay.
So if you scroll down, you get to see a nice little graphic just further below that one. That graphic there. So that's a graphic from the actual game that we're developing now. So it's a role-playing game where you choose your character and you walk around a world and you go on quests, you engage with people. So the idea behind it is it's actually we've called it the Schmeckle invasion.
Okay.
So the idea is that the Schmeckles creators were developing Schmeckles, and then there was an explosion, and the Schmeckles started to fall from the sky and land and then find themselves in the world, and then you're going through the world trying to collect all the Schmeckles. But a great feature that we've added to this is we don't want it just to be gaming, which is great, and it's going to be the significant aspect of it is obviously to just have fun and enjoy a game, but we want to include education in there as well. So that little robot that you can see on the screen, he's what we call a town herald. So in each city that you go to, there'll be a town herald, and that town herald will give you information about an XRPL project. So you'll engage with the herald, they'll give you sort of, this is what their Twitter page is, this is what the project's sort of website is, and any core information, and then it's going to go through a little bit of a blurb, and that blurb can be written by the project themselves. And then at the end of that, there'll be a multiple choice question. If you get the multiple choice question right, you will receive an in-game item that you can use, and it sort of gives you a step up in your progress within the game. We're also going to have a city in there that's going to have education about the XRPL, about things like the Zum wallet. We may even put you in there, JT, and just say, like, this is a place that you can go to get more information about XRPL projects. But that's the idea behind it now, and it's still under development. So the biggest struggle that we've had with this game itself is actually creating the artwork. So all the programming and stuff, we've got that under hand, but the artwork itself is something that's very, very specific, and it's very niche. And finding an artist who's available and able to do this sort of work has been one of the biggest challenges that we found with the game development. So if you know someone, or if someone's watching this and you're able to create something like that face, like the characters that can walk around, so you need to have like arm movements, leg movements, maybe hair moving around. If that's something that you're capable of doing, please get in contact with us. We pay all of our staff. Our staff aren't working for free. So any contract work like that, you're definitely going to get paid, whether that's in your own fiat, whether that's in XRP, or if you want to get paid in Schmeckles, you're more than welcome to as well. But this game is really our focus right now. This is what we're trying to develop in the background while the art competition is happening, while that 2D game competition is happening, while the merch is selling, while the project is progressing. This is sort of the thing that's keeping us moving and busy in the office.
Gotcha.
And I guess now is probably a good time to go all the way back and bring us back to Schmeckles and talk about the project and the delivery of the project, as well as, yeah, click on home. Perfect. So if you scroll down, you'll be able to see our airdrop, sort of what we've done so far. And I'm sorry to say, everyone, but we have completed our major airdrops. So
That was one of my questions.
yeah. So Schmeckles is 1 million tokens when we were originally created. That our token and main wallet has been black holed, so that no more tokens can be created. And slowly we're actually seeing some tokens get burned, whether that's because people are shutting down their wallets and those tokens are going back to that issuing wallet, or whether it's because people are purposely burning them. We're not sure, but I think we're down about 1,000 tokens now. So naturally, the worth of those tokens that exist are still going to start to increase. We may be on the Reapers sort of viewpoint in the future, so who knows where we're going to end up. But let's just pretend we've got 1 million tokens for this conversation. So 25% of those tokens were distributed through Airdrop 1. So 250,000 were distributed to Airdrop 1. They were distributed to people who just had a trust line. So this was in the early days of our project, in the early days of the XRPL. It was about November, December last year. And to be honest, if I had my time again and I had my say, I probably wouldn't have done it that way, to be completely honest. So as a result of doing that, and for full transparency, what we found is a lot of people who were had no interest in our project were receiving those airdrops, and their sole purpose was to sell them as soon as they could to make a quick buck. And that had a negative impact on our price at that time. Hey, it is what it is. It's a public open market, and that's what's going to happen. So that was our first airdrop. So to combat that, our second airdrop, we sort of moved to more, you need to be a holder in order to receive the airdrop. And we had a tiered approach. The more you hold, the more you receive. But the idea was we want to get the majority of the Schmeckles out into the public's hands. So that was a 250,000, which brought our distribution through airdrops to 50% of all Schmeckles. Now, on the right-hand side are the giveaway sort of approach that we've also got. So this is still current. We've already given away over 100,000 Schmeckles through giveaways. So we've done like a major giveaway, which was a 20K giveaway, but we do giveaways all the time. So some of the formats of those giveaways are through Discord. So maybe someone in Discord is really helping the community, really stepping up and helping people out. So they may receive a giveaway for doing something along those lines. It may be someone on Twitter who's creating artwork or memes and just sort of encouraging people to look at Schmeckles and think about our project. So we may reward those. It may be just for people interacting with us in the posts that we make on Twitter. We also do Marbles on Stream, which is a Twitch stream sort of game where people log in and all they have to do is press exclamation mark and play, and they get a marble loaded up onto a map. And that marble traverses the map and makes its way through a whole bunch of obstacles. And the first marble to cross the finish line is the winner. And they may receive some XRP, they may receive some Schmeckles. And other giveaways we have, obviously, we talked about the art competition. We've got the 2D game. And there's lots of other little bits and pieces that we do to really reward people in the public who are doing good things for our project. And we do good things by them by rewarding them with some Schmeckles.
So that's Schmeckles. Is that how that works? No, I'm just kidding.
We can talk after this for sure.
You're good. You're good.
But like we said, so the biggest thing that we wanted to do is make Schmeckles a community project. We didn't want people to sit behind a curtain and just profit off this based on just being involved with the project. So from the get-go, we thought 75% of our project is going to go straight back to the people. And then 25% is going to be retained by the project. And that 25% retention is for things like to getting us listed on exchanges in the future. So we are currently listed on Swift, which is SWFT. And on Swift, you can exchange Schmeckles for lots of other tokens. You can exchange Schmeckles for Bitcoin. And that's all through the Swift all-chain bridge. So it's a really cool little system that they've got. So that's already there, and some of those Schmeckles came from that 25%. Sorry, yeah, the Schmeckles that are with the Swift blockchain came out of that 25%. Just like if we are listed on any future exchanges, that's where that 25% will come into play, as well as in the future. And we've said this, which we're not going to ever sell Schmeckles below $1 moving forward. So I should say 1 XRP moving forward. So when Schmeckles and XRP are neck in neck, that's when we're going to start to look to sort of sell some of that 25% towards building funds for marketing, to building funds towards really growing the project in a big way. But we don't feel like it's appropriate to do that at the moment while the price is sort of finding its feet. So all funds for the project are self-funded. So it's coming from me, it's coming from other team members. That's where we're paying for all these things from now. And the Schmeckles themselves, like I said, they're for the community. So 75% of those are going to be with the community when all the giveaways are done and dusted. And that last 25% is really towards project development.
Gotcha. Quick question. I know a lot of the people are maybe on Bitrue and are used to getting tokens in that way. Is that, or Bitrue or Bitrue, whatever people call it, is that something that maybe in the future, or I mean, I don't even know how long your project's been out. Let's start there real quick. Let's go backtrack.
So we started in November 2021.
Okay, cool.
So we've been around for long enough to definitely start to consider things like that. And this is where it starts to become philosophical, in my opinion. When I start to think about, or when the project team discuss the advantages of exchanges and the advantages for the community of being listed on an exchange, the existing community potentially are going to be damaged by being listed on an exchange where they are going to demand a significant amount of Schmeckles, as well as a significant amount of whatever fee they have. That may be an XRP, it may be in another currency. We are not in a position right now to offer a significant portion of our project to another body, to a third party, without it impacting us in a significant way, in a negative way. And that's what our biggest concern is about exchanges. We more than definitely want, in the future, when we have our solid foundations, when our price is sort of solidified, we want to start talking to exchanges at that stage. But right now, as a meme token, as a token on the XRPL, as a token who has 75% of its delivery in the public's hands, to move towards an exchange and bring in to take a step backwards in order to be on that exchange, we don't see the advantage just yet. Now, if an exchange can approach us and can be reasonable about their requirements to be listed, just like Swift were when we first approached them, they were very reasonable. They were something like a tenth or less of the fees that other exchanges are expecting. But to need to pay upwards of $50,000 to be listed on an exchange, that's going to destroy Schmeckles. And why would we want to do that? Like we're all about building our community and strengthening our project, and to do something that significant right now is going to be detrimental. And unless there's a massive influx of money that comes into the project, which I don't really foresee in the short term, it's more of a long-term goal to be listed on exchanges like Bitrue, along with many others. What I would personally like to see, as being an Australian project, is to work with exchanges here in Australia. So an exchange that comes to mind is one called CoinSpot. We've already started petitioning towards them. We're working with a group called Additions to do that. Additions NFT, another Australian project on the XRPL. So that's our current position on exchanges. Don't get me wrong. I think exchanges have a real big advantage for projects and for tokens, and projects that go down that path, I think, power to them for doing it. I just think if it's not approached in the correct manner, it can be very detrimental. And for us right now in our project position, it's not something that's going to bring complete advantage. It's going to be more of a hey, we're listed on Bitrue. It's like a comment. It's a marketing ploy rather than it is an advantage for the token, for the project, for the holders. And that's where our decisions are always going to come from, is what is going to be the most advantageous for the community. And that's where we really want to position ourselves.
No, it makes total sense. Yeah, no, not necessarily more about exchanges. Let's move on a little bit about, I know that you guys have always tried to be a good actor in the space, and you're joining some good actors, I hear, when it comes to Bloc Oversight. You want to tell a little bit about your involvement there? Or, sorry, I know you've been talking a bit. If you need more water, go ahead.
That's all good. Definitely. So the Bloc is something that I'm super excited about. It's something that I've been involved with for a couple of months now, actually. So it's nothing that's brand new, but it's still very new. So the Bloc is an amalgamation of different bodies within the XRPL and different projects as well, who are really looking to protect the people. And we're trying to do that through education. We're trying to do that through regulation of ourselves, so self-regulating the members of the Bloc and the projects that are getting involved with the Bloc, as well as to really lead by example in the XRPL, as well as the entire cryptocurrency community. So as most people know, cryptocurrency is still working its way through regulatory sort of decisions. It's still trying to find its feet in the real world, in the world of governments and business and laws and regulations. So until that's completely finalized, there's a big gray area that exists. And to try and help people understand what it means to be in that gray area is where the Bloc sort of fits in. And I'm just so proud to be a part of the founding members of the Bloc, so proud to be able to share my own ideas and ideologies with a group of very intelligent people. And I'm so proud to be challenged on those ideas that I have, and to really have people question me and ask why certain things are happening the way they are, as well as for me to question others about why they're doing things the way they're doing. So the Bloc is something that I'm really excited about. I know that you're part of the Bloc as well, JT. So is there anything that I've sort of missed there? Maybe you can bring some further light to people.
There's a ton of great aspects to the Bloc in terms of projects that want to join, investors that want to find good projects to invest into. The Bloc is, like you said, setting that standard and really being a light in the space that will attract good projects. And instead of the government having to regulate us, if we regulate ourselves well and our stand up within our context, I think that will do wonders for the space alone in terms of acquiring new investors, in terms of being just legitimate projects with actual use cases, depending, or just a meme that involves a community and wants to take care of them in the right way. But we just did a video. If you want to go check it out on the Bloc Oversight YouTube channel, you can hear James Ray go into a little bit more detail about it there. But yeah, make sure to like, share, subscribe, not only here, but onto the Bloc Oversight website, and YouTube channel. And put in, if you have any questions
Twitter
about
page.
it, and Twitter page, and put comments below, and we'll do that. But I wanted to go back to the merch here real quick
Yeah,
because
sure.
I want, like, I just remember in my head, like at the end, and I've been watching other things. So, but the one thing that goes back is that Rick and Morty end up with a huge bag of Schmeckles. And so if I could, now that you have that, what do you call it? That license or whatever, if you could just make me like a bag, even if it's just like, I've always wanted like a Scrooge McDuck bag of, but if I'd be willing to let that dream go just a little bit if it was a bag of Schmeckles. Just even if
Fantastic.
they're all plastic, that's fine. Just a mold, just a bag of, I just want to say that, oh yeah, that's my bag of Schmeckles. We're gonna have
Unreal.
so
I
much
love the
fun.
idea. We'll talk
So
to the team. We'll see if we can make it work.
gotcha.
We'll run it. We'll even run it by you, JT, before we list it.
Oh, gotcha. Quality check. Quality check.
Perfect.
Burlap sack of Schmeckles. And then I know that there's been some controversy about staking going around. You mentioned it
Yeah.
a little bit. I wanted to give you a second to address it. And I don't know if you want to go into detail into certain projects that are staking, but I wanted to give you
No,
a chance
definitely
to
not.
address that. So
Definitely don't want to call out anyone because it's something really that staking is giving a lot of value to the community and to the public. So I don't see it as a bad thing in that aspect. I think for the community and people who are participating in the staking, it's fantastic. They're filling their bags. They're profiting off it. My concerns with staking come through the Australian government and the Australian government's regulations around this issue. I've read a few different papers on it, a few different theses, different opinions, different message boards and things like that, just really trying to frame where I sort of sit with it all. But then we've also approached our accountant, the Schmeckles accountant, on this. So right now in Australia, there is no regulation specifically around cryptocurrency staking. The reason being is just a lack of action, a lack of our government getting their ducks in a row, and that it's slow, government's slow. Regulations around things like this, which are so niche, it's very hard to sort of get them to move quickly and define it. So I understand it's going to take time. Now, in the meantime, conduct staking sort of approach would be sitting in that gray area. And that's something that we at Schmeckles don't really want to do. We want to either take the right path or no path. And that's sort of the approach that we want to do to protect our project, to protect our people. I touched on it before. We aren't the most wealthy project. We don't have millions and millions of dollars behind us. We aren't backed by any corporations, and we aren't officially affiliated with Rick and Morty. So we're not receiving funds from them. We are sort of a grassroots project that's community based. So to do staking would require something, to do it correctly in Australia would require something called an AFSL, which is an Australian Financial Services License. And to get one of those is a big task. You not only need to be an accountant, but you need to be an accountant and beyond. And that individual needs to be employed under your organization. So for us to do that would be something that would completely sink the project and be something that we can't afford to do. So it's not an approach that we're able to move forward with right now. So as a result, we've chosen, you know what, staking is not the right way for us right now. And it may be something we consider in the future when there are some clear regulations. But I will just make another comment. So the Australian projects that are participating in staking, they are not at risk per se. The advice that we've received is that there won't be regulation imposed in the past. So for people who are staking currently, regulation comes in tomorrow, they're not going to get them in trouble like retrospectively. But at that stage, they're definitely going to have to stop what they're doing and have an analysis on what is the regulation, what is the law, and how does it implicate into what they're currently doing with their staking project. And I think that alone is dangerous. That alone is time consuming. That alone changes things, right? Having to put a
Mhm.
halt to product services. And that's where we don't want to find ourselves. So we've just decided to you know what, we're just going to sit back, let it define itself, see what happens in this space, wait for the clarity and regulation there, and then it may be something that we do in the future. I say it a lot and I'll say it again. We aren't the fastest movers at Schmeckles, but everything that we do is done with intent. Everything that we do is done with our due diligence on top. And we want to ensure that everything we do is for the protection of the investors and holders of Schmeckles, as well as the project as a whole, so it can exist well into the future. So that's sort of the approach that we've taken here in a perfect sense. And it's how we're going to approach many things moving forward. Now, I'm just going to go back and say it once again. People who are currently staking, I have nothing against them.
Mhm.
And projects that are staking, I have nothing against them. I think it's tough for projects to want to do that, to give off more and more of their tokens for free, give away more and more of their time to advance, to do something like this. So I give them a pat on the back in my commendations, but I just will warn other projects to understand what their government's restrictions and regulations and laws are, to do their due diligence before they jump into something like that. And not only for their own project, maybe they want to do staking through a third party. Understanding what is that third party, what law and regulations are they sitting under? What are the implications back on your project? Understanding all that. You don't want to just jump into something because the community is giving you pressure to do it. You want to jump into something because you've done your research, you understand it, and it's going to be the best thing forward for your project. So that's probably where I'll leave it.
Okay.
I know a lot of Schmeckles community are really eager on staking, and I guess this is probably my first public appearance in providing this information to them. I would love to talk about it with them further. Maybe somebody knows a lot more than I know and they want to address it with me. And I would love to have that conversation with anybody who has more information, particularly if it's specific to the Australian regulations and laws. So I'm an open book. I'm on Twitter. If you jump onto the Schmeckles website, our Twitter page, our Discord, anywhere, and you ask for me, I'll get to you within less than 24 hours. So we can have that conversation and we can talk it out. I'm always open to learning more, and I'm always open to having intelligent conversations with people where I can sort of to gain from, as well as potentially educate somebody else. So I'm an open book, but that's where I'll leave staking for now. So
Gotcha.
quickly, JT, save me from my own hole that I'm digging.
No, hey, it is what it is. It's a growing space and place, and you're gonna have to make decisions. I think that you're taking one that's wise in a way, because you're not giving your word then going back, and that's what the regulation would have you do, even if it was just for a short time. And so I can appreciate that approach. And you, at the end of the day, you are a meme coin. You don't um it's not like you are forced to do something based on a technology. You're a fun uh meme coin that is riding the wave, like we talked about before.
Yeah.
So
So
the
the
wave of
analogy,
technology.
the analogy JT is talking about, that's right, the wave of technology. There are some projects out there that are completely technologically utility based that are going to pave the wave, pave the way, I should say, for everybody else. And that's the wave we're referring to. And sort of the meme tokens I see as sitting back, riding the wave of that technology. We're going to utilize that technology. We're going to educate people about that technology, but we're not really that forefront of that technology creation, right? So
Yeah,
that's where we sit as a meme token.
just having fun riding the wave. And so it's pretty
100%.
cool. um all right, well, is there anything else that we didn't cover that you'd like to go into? Maybe some special shout outs or
I just like to say, just for everybody to remember, like, we are human. We are creatures that need to be nurtured and to have love and connection and all those sorts of things. Don't get too stuck into cryptocurrency and technology if it's taking you away from everything else. Make sure you're still nurturing your soul, you're nurturing yourself, nurturing your humanity. Maybe being in part of the Schmeckles community can help you to achieve that through things like community-based interactions, things like bringing you into the arts, things like gaming, and just really silly, fun things. Maybe that's the approach, or maybe it's taking a step away from your laptop completely and really getting stuck into life again. Screens consume so much of our time. Screens
Mhm.
consume so much of our life. They really define a lot of us in this space as well. And it's not a bad thing, but it's not the only thing. And that's really what I want people to know as a parting message. and this is both from the Schmeckles project as well as from me, James Ray. I
Mhm.
really, really want people to remember that we are just human. Words hurt. You know, being a bully online on Twitter, you may think it's just Twitter, but it still hurts people. People still have personal issues with things like that. You may hit on something that they've been struggling with their whole life, and you may think it's funny, but for them, it's something that's really critical. And that's not what we're about here. We're really on the coattails of progress for humanity in this cryptocurrency space. It is so exciting. It is so amazing, but it's also it's almost debilitating if you consume yourself in it.
Mhm.
So make sure you're doing everything right. Make sure you're doing your due diligence. You're doing your research. You're still on the pulse. Don't get me wrong. Like it's very important, but just don't forget about yourself. Don't lose sight of who you are. Don't let one decision define everything about you in life. Make sure you're protecting your investments. Do your due diligence. Ask questions. Watch JT's videos. Talk to developers. Get involved with people. Look out for the block. You know, like jump onto different sort of websites. Like if a wallet is issuing a token, look into the token. What are they? Where are they issuing it? Where is their source from? Who is a project team? What government are they regulated under? All these little things, like they will help you to be informed, but at the same time, it's not life. That's not everything. That is just a slice. Make sure you're getting the other slices in. You're still loving your family. You're loving yourself. You're seeing sunshine. Sunshine is so important. I'm going to stop talking, JT, but
No,
I
that's
just want
fine.
everyone to remember cryptocurrency is fantastic. It's amazing. It's cutting edge, but it's not the be all and end all.
Yeah, I gotcha. And most of the people are seeking into cryptocurrency because they want to be able to experience more of those other things in life. So don't
That's
forget
right.
along the way of the journey, guys. And something
100%. I love that. I love that,
um
JT. Yep.
so I feel that. I know that, I'd love to be on a beach somewhere with my family and, hanging out with James Ray, somewhere, but, be cool. But yeah, don't forget about love, guys. Don't forget about the human connection side of things because, relation at the end of the day, money can't follow you anywhere and all you have is your relationships, like as a wise man once told me. So make sure to go form those. If you need to connect with someone, go connect. If you need to resolve a conflict, go do that. Because
Yeah.
love is all that matters, guys. But with that being said, always make sure to do your own research. None of this is financial advice. I'm
Yep.
JTXRP and this is James Ray. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, and we're out.